Hello, hello. Today I am coming to you from my minivan. It is an awesome van. Don't make fun of me. If we are going to be writing and publishing and we have lives outside of just this, then we have to be a little bit flexible. I do a lot of work in my car, so you get to see that today. We are going to be talking about manuscript prep. And I'm really excited about this piece because when you are an author narrating your own books, you already know your manuscript front to back to front. And that gives you a major benefit when you're coming into narration. Normally, when I work for other authors, I have to do a lot of research on their characters. I actually have a whole onboarding form that people fill out to give me character names, personalities, dialects, all of that stuff. You already have that in your head. You already know it. So there are a couple things that have come up for me when I'm preparing my own manuscript. Number one, it's really nice if you have a whole list of characters. That's super helpful because even though you've written the book, sometimes you forget that there was this servant that worked in the castle that came in chapter 20 or whatever. And it can kind of slow you down when you get to that point. So when you start thinking about audio as an author, it actually improves your writing in some pretty significant ways, especially when it comes to character, because you know that you're going to have to bring this character to life. And so it helps you think about more characteristics than you normally would as a writer. That's kind of what I found anyway. So as you're writing your manuscript, go ahead and put those character names down as you go and just kind of keep track of it. I will give you a hack for this because I'm sure many of you have books that you have already written or that have been published that you did not follow this process for. And now you're like, great, I'm going to have to go through my whole manuscript and figure out how to list all the characters and put all their details in. I have found Google Notebook LM to do this beautifully. And I'm going to go ahead and put the link to that down in the resources. But you can actually upload your entire manuscript up into Google Notebook and ask it those questions. Say, hey, can you list all of the characters here and give me a brief description? And it will pull from your manuscript and give you actual little footnotes with the sources so you can go back and check and make sure that it's okay. But that has been really helpful for me in making my book Bibles. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you too. So once you've done that, you have your list of characters, you know what vibe you're going for. Most authors I talk to already know exactly what they want their character to sound like in their head. Now, whether we're capable of producing that exact sound is not always, is a little bit sketchy, but we can approximate and get close. So let me talk about a few other things that will kind of help get you organized, and then we'll get into the acting piece of actually creating those voices. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, here you go. So this is a spreadsheet that I worked on when I first started recording audiobooks. I'm going to be real upfront with you. You can see that the last time that I edited this was back in 2023. And the reason for that is once you start to do this, you become really acquainted with the characters that you're capable of producing in your own voice. And you don't really need a spreadsheet to keep track of it anymore. It kind of becomes second nature. And so by 2023, I had produced, almost 20 audiobooks, possibly a little bit more. And I felt really confident in the voices that I could make. And it was just really second nature. I didn't really have to write it down anymore. But I'm going to go through the process that I did at the beginning because this will hopefully help you get to that point once you've produced enough audiobooks. So right here on my spreadsheet, I created a list. I kind of messed around with my voice recorder. If you're thinking of doing audio, my guess is that you've listened to some audiobooks, but if you haven't, that would be your first step. Go and start listening to some audiobooks before you even get into this, because I want you to hear and listen to ones with narrators that are your same gender or same vocal range, because you want to get really good at analyzing what they're doing with those voices and how you can maybe adjust your voice to be able to make different characters without much modulation. Okay, we're going to get into that acting piece a little bit later. But right here, I started keeping track. I messed around with my voice recorder on my phone and even just in the mirror and tried out different types of voices. So for example, I'm going to give you some examples here. I wrote down for my adult female, Kate is one of the characters that I created first for my very first audiobook. And she was, as you can see here, I kind of wrote down my normal voice, but more soothing and calm. So she sounded a little bit like this. It was my normal voice, but it was just a little bit more calm, a little slower, a little bit more comforting. Very subtle change, but that was great. Bobby is maybe even a little bit more sassy than what I would normally be. She was a little bit younger and had a little bit of a punch to her when she spoke. So just some examples of how that worked. But the most important thing in this spreadsheet is that it makes sense to you. So when you start creating these voices, first of all, you want them to be very easy to access. So you don't want to have to do some crazy thing with your voice, especially anything that would hurt your voice. And we'll get into that more later as well. But think about these ways like Haley. Let me give you another example. I messed around with this and found that if I rolled my R's, it sounded like a totally different person. And so I started speaking like this for some of my voices. And you'll see that in my books, there's often a character that has that voice because it's very distinctive, but it's just a very simple change with my R's. So that was one way that I differentiated. So play around with it and start thinking about what kind of voices you could give your characters. It was very helpful for me to go into my first manuscript and just choose the characters there and then start imagining what they could sound like and playing with it. Once you've done that, put them on this spreadsheet because it will remind you what characters you've already been able to access. And the reason I put the names here is because it reminds me of the book that I recorded. So some of these are for other authors. Like I've never done some of these characters for my own books. But I did end up using them in my own books because I'd already created these characters. So I've got some YA voices here. I've got some adult female, adult male, YA male, and I've got some non-binary characters as well. So think about just playing around and building it out. If in your first manuscript you have maybe 10 characters, that's a great start. If you're starting with an epic fantasy book where you've got like 35 characters, this might take a little bit more time, but it's totally doable. And then once you have this group of characters that you're pulling from, and this can be in flux, you can change this anytime, but it just gives you a good base. Then you can, when you actually start your book, this is what I recommend. Think about this ahead of time so you don't get stuck the way I was stuck when I started my first audiobook. I created all of these characters. Here, I'll go over here. This is one I just started. I created all of these characters and then I started recording my audiobook and I got about 10 chapters in and realized that there was one character I had introduced back in chapter 1 that was now back in chapter 10 and I had forgotten about that. And I completely forgot what I did for his one line that he had in chapter 1. And so I highly recommend that as you're recording, whenever a new character is introduced, go ahead and put them on this spreadsheet. This is one that I just recorded and will be releasing soon, but there's Patrick. He comes in chapter 1 and he has a slow Southern drawl and I put the timestamp of where his first line comes in. It's at 10:50. I used to record actual little samples of my characters, but that became a little bit tedious. I was finding that it was just taking too long during the recording process. So now I just timestamp it. And then later on in the book, if I'm like, crap, I don't remember what that guy was supposed to sound like, I can go back into my spreadsheet. I can quickly take a look. I can go to that chapter, listen to it really quick and remind myself. This is super helpful for character consistency in your own manuscript, like in one book, but it's imperative when you're doing a series. So even though, again, you know your manuscript, you know what you're doing, sometimes we just forget about especially these smaller characters that only come up every once in a while. All right, so there's that. I'm sure that some of you can get even more technical with this. I know some people that actually, like when they make their base characters, you know, they'll actually assign those and put timestamps to each of those in different places. This is the simplest way that I've found to do it that helps me stay organized, but also doesn't take up a ton of time. I'm really big on efficiency. So, all right, there's that. We're going to go into the acting stuff next.